Hey guys, really happy to hear you and to see everyone who is looking at our video and witnessing our discussion. So, my guest today is Turan Mehmet. He is a freelancer with overall 24 years of experience in digital marketing or the imaging creation for the marketing efforts of different businesses. He is the expert wanted freelancer, the owner of 35mm agency, digital agency. He was working with a lot of Tier A companies, Fortune 100 and Fortune 500. As his page is saying, it's a Google, Sony, Toshiba, Ford, Renault, Peugeot, and so on. It's a big name, but it's really important because the company is offering him uh, his and their marketing effort to help with. So what we're doing right now, we're conducting the program JSD Upwork Freelance Success Program. So we're taking freelancers and agencies and we provide them with our product and services and benchmarking their success or the problems they are having along the way and showing you the results and hopefully having some meaningful conversation about freelancing in general and Upwork itself. So we'll start from introduction of Mehmet
Mhm.
and go with the flow.
Okay, perfect. My name is Mehmet. I'm 51 years old. I've been photographing for a very long time,
Mhm.
and in time, I tried to immerse myself in photography, commercial photography, because that was what I liked to do. I
Mhm.
had fun of. And but in time, I saw that because when you are in photography, your market is limited. You have to
Mhm.
go and shoot it. That means although I'm living in a very big city, it's now around 16 million people. It's a very big city, but still you are limited with 16 million people population. And in time, we what we saw is that internet you can cover the whole world.
Mhm.
And when I was shooting mainly for advertising agencies here, my business extended into retouching for commercial projects. And one after another, sometimes those agencies started coming to me asking for just the retouching part. They said,
Mhm.
we have the photos, but can you retouch them? And okay, and I have now one Diapolis Images, which does the photography work with a partner of me.
Mhm.
I'm partnered with someone else there. Then, okay, I said, let's divide the company into two. There's the Diapolis Images, and then there's the 35 millimeter, which will do only post-production work. First it was retouching, then we added 3D and so on because
Mhm.
there was demand for that. And once I made the website and so on, like maybe 9 years or 8 years ago,
Mhm.
uh, I received a request from some other country. We saw your website. Would you be interested in doing our retouching work? I wasn't looking at any Upwork or
Mhm.
anything like that. It was all coincidence. I said, oh, yeah, you can. I'm not limited with Turkey, with the country I'm in. Once I delivered that project, I started, thinking how I can find companies like, international companies. And
Mhm.
once you search, you see a couple of websites. The first one I tried was freelancer.com,
Mhm.
and it was a total disaster for me. It was just spending money, not getting anything. And at the time, Upwork has just been formed from Olens.
Yes.
There was Elance, and they had turned. It was just at the time because when I visited Olens, I had been directed to Upwork. They just
This started.
transforming, yeah. So I joined there, and luckily I found a couple of clients, and I started my work there. I kept on doing direct clients, and I still do that through LinkedIn, through website. people still coming, but especially during COVID time, I saw that the percentage of my work has doubled on Upwork, while the others decreased a lot. Everyone, returned. They decreased down their costs probably because what I see is that usually Upwork clients are not the best paying clients. You compete with so many people there.
Mm-hmm.
But when a client comes directly to you, you have the advantage. They are coming for you,
Sure.
and whatever you tell, they say fine, as long as it is within their budget, of course. But
Sure.
they don't have to compare you with anyone else there.
Okay. So we can say that you are a freelancer, but you are not particularly like a solo Upwork freelancer. You're kind of trying to build a marketing yourself brand around a few platforms. You kind of
Uh,
diverse. Hmm.
I'm mainly, I should say, among the platforms, I'm at the moment just on Upwork,
Hmm.
which almost all is coming from there. I tried Fiverr, it didn't work, but lately, 1 month ago, Fiverr invited me for their Fiverr Pro.
Hmm.
I joined them, but I didn't get any jobs from there yet. I
Hmm.
also have two more colleagues who work with me that I pass the work or part of the work to them so
Hmm.
that it eases my job. And for example, I don't know that much on 3D. I have a
Hmm.
colleague who does the 3D part, then I do the post production part. I have another friend who does the graphic design part. So I sometimes just make a project into pieces and then just sum up at my end, then deliver it to the client.
Okay. So you have this network of friends and colleagues, and you
Yeah,
kind of share the project.
yeah, when
Okay.
needed.
Okay. Um, so what would like to talk a little bit about right now, since we are in this call to discuss your niches and what exact jobs you are trying to reach for me to understand and try to create filters that are fulfilling this need. So,
Mhm.
how is your lead generation process is look like today, like the modern time?
There are two kinds. One is they just come through the search because
Hmm.
I'm ranked on Upwork, probably Upwork from time to time if the client has the budget, because I'm in my category, I'm among the top 10 most expensive ones. So I'm out of the budget for most of the possible clients. Um, some come directly to me. When they come, I know that they are within, usually within my budget range.
Hmm.
But sometimes, and most of the time, early in the morning and late in the evening, I go to Upwork.com
Hmm.
and I have some filters set up. They have their advanced search filters.
Hmm.
And according to those filters, I look at who has submitted the project, and I have my criteria. I know that someone who is ready to say their budget range is $20 an hour will probably not hire me. But
Hmm.
even if they say, okay, my budget range is $40 an hour and my hourly rate is double of that, I know that I might be able to convert them,
Hmm.
not from the hourly perspective, because uh, that always will look them, okay, someone cannot be double the speed. He can't work like that, but it's not true. But still, I tell them, how about a fixed rate? Would you be
Hmm.
interested in that? And usually, if they like what they see, they seriously consider it. Even if they say my hourly rate is $35 or $40 and my
Hmm.
hourly rate is $80, I say, how about if I complete this project for a, let's say, fixed cost of $500? Then, because then they know that, okay, they'll spend that much money and it will be done with it, instead of, and on for no $40 an hour, someone, if they spend 20 hours with the project, it will be $800. So they kind of limit their risk. So I play to that, and usually, at least if they like what they see, they accept my offers when I propose them fixed rates.
Okay, so it's actually really interesting because you see, client that comes for me,
Mm-hmm.
they usually have this notion they either want to work fixed price or either want to work hourly price. And
Mm-hmm.
so they say, oh, I don't need fixed price jobs. But you, using the business model, it kind of to find the middle ground
Mm-hmm.
with the client. It's
Yeah.
basically like a part of sales process for you. So you're kind of flexible in this matter.
Yes, and also what I see is that uh, when people always are afraid of, especially when the hourly rate is high, they unless they are experts, they don't know how long it will take. So when you a, propose them a fixed rate, you take that burden off. They know, oh, this
Mhm.
is $500 project. I won't be spending more than that, and they are cool with it. They get relaxed, I would say.
Yeah, but from the other perspective, you need to be a really good professional to uh, give a realistic estimation of your job for yourself, first of all, to kind
Yeah.
of understand that, okay, I can do this for $500 and for this time that I've scheduled, and it will be okay with those. So it takes a little bit experience, yeah.
Yes, it takes a bit of experience, and I also add a bit of uh, extra room. For
Hmm.
example, if I say this is for 500, I
Hmm.
should believe that I can do it for $400.
Okay.
That $100 is the risk,
Oh,
because
so okay.
in some projects it will be 400, but in some projects you expect it to be 400, but it can be 550 or 600. But in every project, if you take like 20% risk premium,
Hmm.
then you have enough saving on the on the side, that okay, I can take it. Or the client asks, can we do that? I don't say, oh, I can do that, no problem, but it's $20 extra. I don't
Uh-huh.
do it. Oh, I said, oh, no problem. Oh, and he feels okay. I'm getting a premium service, but it was already included in that rate. Small
Y-
changes and so
You
on.
know what? As someone who is professional background in sales in IT, I got to say it's really smart. I mean, you're not stressing the client with another one round of negotiation for additional tasks because
Hmm.
it's always stress. You need to talk with client. You need to describe. You need to tell them why do you do this, and they're like, oh, you were saying it's only this sum or this number,
Hmm.
and now you're like a changing. So it's
But
a great thing to think for
you're
front.
right.
Yeah.
And if it is major thing, they already know it, because
Hmm.
if they ask something large, much larger than that, then
Hmm.
I say, okay, this is a new milestone.
Hmm.
Then it should be what I, for example, for a 500 dollar job, if it was 400 in cost and suddenly something comes up, I say, okay, no problem, I'll do it. But something big comes up, or he starts asking one, two, three, four, I say, let's list all the things you need.
Hmm.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. Let's add it as a new milestone, because these are 10. It will be another $100, or it will be $150 extra. So nothing major for small things, but if they are a lot, then I can easily ask, because they also see that it's something extra they're asking, something that is not part of it. And also
Hmm.
for projects over $300, it is the Upwork has a dispute system. I don't
Okay.
know if you ever used it.
Sure. Well, once upon a time in my career, I had quite large dispute. So we have like a big project, website building project, and he was split into 12 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a little dispute in the end, but it turns to be okay. Turns to be fine.
Uh, did it go to the mediation? Did it go to
No,
that level?
no, actually,
Okay.
so my personal thinking on this is that it's always a good idea to try to find a common ground before this, before mediation, not go to the mediation, because you know in the end you never can be 100% sure how it's gonna end.
True, true. And for the projects above $300, I write a project scope document before I
Mm-hmm.
start it. And I send it. And do we agree on that scope? Is very detailed,
Mm-hmm.
what they'll receive, in what terms, how many revisions they'll have, etc. I do this in projects over $300. So if it becomes a dispute problem,
Mm-hmm.
then at least I have all the details. And even if it doesn't go to dispute, when the
Mm-hmm.
client asks, okay, can you do this? I'll say, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. But at one moment, look, in our project scope document,
Mm-hmm.
these are not mentioned. I did this extra, but above that, it will be extra new milestone. So it's easier to convert them
Y-
to
You
a,
know,
a,
I think it would be one of the wisest thing that people that are entering this call and just starting on Upwork can use, because I think 95% of disputes is about something is need to be done and it wasn't negotiated, or it
mhm,
was negotiated in words, just like I mean in the call like you and I. And
mhm,
then like in 4 months, 5 months, this problem arises and you have nothing to actually
show.
nothing to fact check, you know?
Mhm,
No facts. It's just the words, your word against his word, and there's the Upwork. And the Upwork, they are great guys, but they have their own interests.
yeah,
I
sure.
mean, so their interest to, make the business flow harmonically for the
Mhm,
Upwork. So they
good.
kind of not for you, not for the client, but for the Upwork. And that's absolutely okay. But this thing, the scope, the documentation, the processes, freelancers are building this to sleep well at night.
Yeah, it's extra work, but if you have a template you can fill out in 10-15 minutes, and it will save you headache in a
Sure,
future project or in that project.
sure. I mean, this few minutes, okay, not few minutes. Let's be honest. It's gonna be a dozen of hours to create standalone great processes. But guys, if you just watching this and if you're thinking whether it's better to spend these hours or to experience the process of dealing with the problems with clients and Upwork, it's better to spend this time, believe me. Okay, so
So yeah,
my next question is, since we're starting to talk about lead generation, what would you like to improve in your lead generation process? Because I feel that you are kind of process heavy person. You have everything settled from the process of lead generation to sending proposals to negotiating to closing the deals, performing a job itself, and then the closing the deals. And I can assume even you are taking part of nurturing your clients. So you're doing some kind of account marketing. So people that finish work with you, they're not just vanish, disappearing. So you
mhm,
have some
mhm.
contact.
Some perish because some people have one-time need. They just have some, and it happens. Most of my clients are corporate.
Hmm.
I had clients who were rich people who wanted a family photo edited and ready to pay. I say, okay, if you want it, and they may just perish, just
Hmm.
because they just need something for a family union photo, and they pay a lot, and then I never hear of them, or there are some who comes every Christmas,
Hmm.
family photo edited, done. Next Christmas they come again, so I don't
That's
have to
nice.
do anything.
That's nice.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
That's really nice. I've heard about people who are taking, for example, emails or contacts of their past clients, and they're working some marketing, some emails, sending,
Well,
warming.
because of Upwork rules,
Hmm.
I take my client's email just for my database. I have a CRM
Hmm.
system on my Notion
Hmm.
system, but I prefer not to message them through email. I try to keep, if I find someone through Upwork, I keep them on Upwork, not to. have any disputes with Upwork because if you look at the forums and so on,
Hmm.
you see a lot of people complaining on Facebook forums. Oh, my Upwork account suspended. All for nothing. It's not all for nothing. Probably you did something. It may happen or it may not happen. I prefer to keep their email addresses on my database,
Hmm.
but if it is an Upwork client, I message them Happy New Year, even Happy New Year messages through Upwork. And
Okay, okay,
yeah,
that's
it goes
mhm,
on like that. But I have them, and usually I need those because I may send a JPEG file through Upwork,
mhm,
but if it is a large TIFF file, I would need a V transfer or G drive share and so on. So it's always good to have their email addresses or other information when needed. Uh, it's important, as you said, nurturing your clients, or if you don't hear from them, just don't do it like a sales call. But haven't heard from you. I hope everything's okay. Just checking in.
mhm.
Hope things are okay. Have a new year. Have a good summer holiday, etc. And
Yeah,
it,
just remind
yeah,
them that you are existing, and
yeah,
the message itself, just a hello message, you're gonna remind them that you've provided them the experience, the services, and they like it. Oh, I have this urge. Oh, he was messaging me like last week. Okay, okay.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So,
So
mhm,
everything goes well, your question, but what I'm missing, first, when I'm working, I don't check any social media or anything, and
mhm,
I also forget checking Upwork.
mhm,
And as you know, being among the first 10 probably is the most important thing when you submit a good client.
mhm.
When you ask me some the projects that I might be interested in, what I did is maybe someone the others didn't do. I downloaded CSV file for all my clients since I started working on Upwork. It was a big list. I sorted the ones who made the highest amount so far.
Okay, that's become really interesting. I like this data. Thanks.
um, then I removed the ones that were problematic. The ones
Okay,
that
okay.
even if they made good money, I
Hmm.
wouldn't be. I wished I didn't know them. I removed those,
Okay.
and I had a good list, and
Hmm.
I checked the first project I did for them. So I
Hmm.
sent you in that Notion database you asked me to fill
Hmm.
the proposals they sent when we I made my first initiation with them. So
Okay.
I have my top clients who brought me the best amount of work and value to this
Hmm.
date, and how I started working with them. So if we can match them, we can create a correlation and find a correlation, then I
Okay.
would be interested finding other clients who are like those.
You know, the thing you just said, it's basically a workflow for starting segmenting yourself on Upwork. So basically, because a lot of people heard about niching, what is the niche?
Mhm,
And this is kind of a little bit metaphysic term for many. So how do you do this? So you just take the best clients, you take aside the bad one clients, and
mhm.
you're trying to recreate this.
And you probably heard 2080 rule.
Sure. Pareto
Yeah,
rule. Yeah.
yeah. And in this one, I selected the 20%, top
Hmm.
20. It wasn't 80%, but I checked. It was 76% of my
Okay.
total amount I made on Upwork. This,
Okay.
the list I shared with you, they created the 76% of the value.
Well, that sounds like a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so right now, guys, we're gonna switch into the questionnaire that Mehmet is filling up. So we have this Notion page with the specific information about the jobs that Mehmet would like to find with the help of our tool. So as the part of the service providing, I'm trying to understand specifically what our clients is trying to find. For this purpose, I'm sending to the client this table, and the client's filling up the table with the ideal project, and they are inputting the information about the project itself. Then we talk about this, and I'm trying to create filters which are basically the segments of the market we are looking for. So I would like Mehmet to describe his perfect clients or projects and to describe this projects he filled out by his own words. So what we are looking.
Mhm. So what I do is advertisement visual creation.
Mm-hmm,
But when we look at these, what I would we would see is that there are some specific sectors, mainly cosmetics, CPG,
mm-hmm,
electronics, automotive are
okay,
the top clients who I create, because these are the sectors, the industries that I have created visuals for and
mm-hmm,
have brought the highest income to me.
mm-hmm,
There are some Amazon sellers and so on as well. It's a long list, but
mm-hmm,
when you look at it, you'll see electronics, beverage, food. Um, they are mixed in terms of 3D and photo retouching.
mm-hmm,
Some are creative agency, because creative agencies, they have a lot of um, incoming projects on different sectors, so they have a lot of work to pass to others, because
okay,
they take the work from clients and send it to creators, and then send it back to their clients or use it in their campaigns.
mm-hmm.
Um, that's mainly it, I would say. Products, cosmetics, and so on.
Okay, so my question is, would you like me to create different um, specific filters, for example, for a 3D and a specific filter for the image retouching, or you would like these filters
Uh,
to kind of
because
mhm,
they can be combined, and
mhm,
usually uh, there is usually an option for cross-selling to one client. Client may come, they say, I need retouching, and then
mhm,
you suddenly understand their photos are really bad, and then you
mhm.
say, okay, rather than retouching, let's create them from scratch in 3D and work with it. Or
Okay,
it can be just the opposite. They come with requests for 3D, and I look at that they already had rendered 3D, but it's not good enough. Then maybe we can, you know, enhance those renders and make usable images. Sometimes I do both of them together. Use both of them together.
okay, so this is one more valuable tip, a cross-selling. You just find things that are mixing good and you're finding a
Mm-hmm.
job and try to cross-sell. Okay, so I'm asking this because I can make, for example, few filters, and those few
Mm.
filters will be combining. So they will be combining and they will work like Lego. Do you know what Lego is?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So
I have a 7 years old son.
yes, you definitely know it. So basically, it will work like a Lego. So there's gonna be some kind of words that will be responsible for the specific jobs types, and those job types, those specific words can mount, score the points, and show you the most
Mm.
comprehensive projects.
Okay.
And so we will define the number of words that will be
Mm-hmm.
responsible for every domain. Guys, for the people who don't understand what is domain, domain is the industry of your client and and it correlates with the specific needs and urges that he has along the way. So, for example, I'm sure Mehmet would elaborate on this a little bit more. For example, people from automotive will have a little bit different set of tasks. Let's say about people from lifestyle. Okay, it be the same imagery, but the context will be a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
So What words would you say are the most defining in the domain aspect?
In terms of industry, you mean
Yeah,
industry
yeah,
focus?
yeah.
Uh, what I see lately is most common ones are I see a high rise in Amazon. Everyone wants to sell something on Amazon, I
Mm-hmm,
guess. Product, beverage and drink, because I do a
mm-hmm,
lot of alcoholic, non-alcoholic drinks.
mm-hmm,
Food comes, but food is not the most common one. And creative agencies, as I said, because they have a lot of work. When you have a creative agency, they send you all kinds of industries, but they
sure.
are your clients, so they decide on what uh, they would like you to work on. For
So,
example, I have one,
mhm.
yeah,
So,
I have one in UK,
uh,
and they send me all different. They one send same agency send one after another. One is a supplement
mhm,
uh, edit, and the
mhm.
second thing they sent was dog food.
Okay. I have a question for you. What would you
Yeah.
say if I would create for you a filter that will be specifically aimed for looking for digital agencies as the middleman that resell, they basically come to Upwork to get the service and then resell the service? Would you be interested in that?
Yes, that would be interesting, because that they are what I see is that although you have to negotiate because they are trying to make money out from you
Mm-hmm,
naturally,
mm-hmm,
they have a lot of job to do.
mm-hmm,
Uh, they although their um, how I would describe it, the per image profit is not high with creative agencies.
mm-hmm,
In the long run, you make good money out of them because they keep on sending work.
mm-hmm.
When
So,
you have a direct client, you have higher profit, but unless they are a very big company and if they are not able to send you regular work
okay.
on small jobs, you make good profit, but it's uh, it takes long time to reach a good income level with
Mm-hmm.
those companies.
So we can say it's kind of it's a compromise, right? So
Yeah.
agencies can give you a bigger volume of the jobs, but basically they need to have their margin. And
Yes.
so it's more negotiation on the price, but it's a lot bigger volume of the jobs. But it's interesting. I guess, many people from different niches on Upwork can find some middlemen, some agencies that will
Hmm.
provide them with the steady line of work, especially at the beginning when you need this volume of work of projects to build your account on Upwork. You need to have this
Hmm.
experience.
True.
So it's interesting. Actually, it sounds like it could be a strategy, even a strategy for many people who are starting on Upwork to find these agencies, specifically these agencies, and try to have a relationship, build a relationship with them.
Sure. I think in different industries, there are different agencies who
Hmm.
need this kind of work to do.
Hmm.
But of course, you have to be good because those agencies have to show good results to their clients. It shouldn't be a mediocre, solution.
Hmm.
It's critical that it has to be look very professional so
Hmm.
that they can easily sell it to their clients. Otherwise,
Sure.
those companies will say, okay, I can find such work in freelance market by myself.
Sure. I mean, especially today when the competition of Upwork because of the COVID, because of the processes in the world is skyrocketing,
Mhm.
you need to really deliver the service. I guess
The,
it's I'm sure you're gonna agree with me. It's the ultimate thing at Upwork in the work.
yeah,
Beyond all the strategies is to deliver a great job.
yeah, yeah. And the highest paying clients are the ones that are like enterprise status or similar.
Hmm. Sure.
They don't negotiate much on price,
Hmm.
and if you keep them long term and
Hmm.
they send you work from time to time,
Hmm.
then with those clients you can make very good earning. For example, especially automotive. For example, in my case, if you find them, there may be some automotive companies you have not heard of.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean you may not heard of is that they are not big brands like Peugeot, Renault
Mm-hmm.
kind of companies, but supplier to those companies.
Oh, so it's kind of also the middleman, but the big middleman. So it's the.
They are suppliers of, for example, electronics to Peugeot, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But they are not only supplying to Peugeot, but they are supplying to BMW, they are supplying to Mercedes, they are making the electronic boards for them.
Mm-hmm.
Not all companies are doing all these by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So if you find I wasn't looking for, but if you find some company like that, suddenly they have a lot of marketing budget. They do marketing to B2B, business to business,
Okay.
and they make those marketings to industrial magazines or events. Then you suddenly have a lot of work to do. They don't, negotiate much on pricing, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, they have terms. There's an upcoming exhibition. You
Mm-hmm.
suddenly have a 1 month book or 2 weeks booked with a client who is not interested with your hourly rate or your fixed prices, or they
Oh, okay.
they ask, but they don't try to negotiate anything.
Then I will ask you whether you would like me to create a specific filter for those as well.
I don't know if you will be able to detect them on Upwork. How would you do that?
You see, the possibility to detect specific jobs is limited to the information they are putting in their proposals. Uh, how do I seek for
Or
different?
maybe you
Mhm.
can detect them by finding the ones who spend maybe above $500,000 or $1 million, because they
Also,
are, when you
yes.
look at them, they may not be even uh, this enterprise client status, but
Hmm.
when you look at it, you realize they have spent $1 million. Or even I saw one who was not enterprise but has spent $13 million.
That's cool. That's a logical idea.
Mm.
Okay, so what about what you definitely not want to work with? So this is the countries and this is the area of work. That's really
Mhm.
cool because you see one of the most important thing about building really precise and good filters is also not also putting something you want to find, but also put everything you don't want to find.
Mm.
So, okay, so
I also
we
wrote
have
not
specific.
interested parts as well.
Excuse me, come again?
I also wrote there not interested countries, not interested subjects on photo retouching or things like that.
Mm-hmm. Common search terms. Okay, that actually this I find this really interesting to build this filters for you because we're gonna because you come to me and as someone who is already formed as a professional and a freelancer, you definitely have an understanding of your niche, your market, and your client. So everything we need to do is basically take this knowledge and wrap them in the filters using the
Mm.
settings. Okay, that's really interesting. One sec, I have this thing. Um, so I have a few more questions for you.
Sure.
Um, what is the perfect project for you in your own words? Like, what do you feel the project you are happy to do, except the payment?
Um, of the perfect project, I haven't, because when I take jobs, it's usually for, as I said, for advertisement purposes. I tell my clients, or even on my website, it writes,
Hmm.
I help people to sell products, ideas, and services. That's it. That's my motto. And what I like after I delivered, if it's rare now, in 10 years ago, it wasn't like this, but if I see my project printed somewhere, then I really enjoy it. But now it's very rare because I know that one of the projects I worked was displayed in Hong Kong subway system
Mm-hmm.
hall. They covered. They sent me the photos of it. I never seen it. Or another work of mine had been displayed on billboards in Iceland, Reykjavik Airport,
Okay.
International Airport. Things like that makes me happy. But besides payment, there isn't. Of course, when you work on a big project, it's very rare.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do something, let's say for Apple, then you say, okay, I have done something for Apple, but unfortunately they have NDAs that you cannot even put their
Sure.
logo on your website.
Sure. 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 Yeah, it's a common practice among the biggest companies,
Mm.
like a Bank of America and stuff like that. So many people actually working for the big corporations, they are doing stuff here and there, but since the DNA, I'm sorry, NDA, it's usually closed.
Yeah.
Um, so one more question I have for you, we just slightly mentioned it, is the mm, quickness of finding the jobs you were mentioning that like
Yeah. When
ideally.
I'm working, as I said, I'm very focused. I don't check regularly, and
Mhm,
it would be really, you can easily miss something. And let's say I check all Upwork projects right after our call, probably before I start the next
mhm,
project. I'll check them, but once I close it, and it will be 4 or 5 hours later, I'll check again. If
mhm,
someone submits something 10 minutes later, I won't see it till 4 hours later, and it might be too late. I may be the perfect candidate for it. Sometimes it works.
mhm,
They'll see me even if I am the 31st applicant. They might find me,
mhm,
but there may be a lot of cases they just said, okay, this one looks fine, let's go with him. And because it's the case, no one goes to the third page of Google when
mhm.
you are searching something. If you find a content that is answers what you are looking for, you'll go with it. You won't go to the third page of Google and say, let's check if there is a better page that answers my question. You don't do that. If you feel like you found the right person or right content, you'll
Mhm.
go with it. So there's the missing point, and what you promise is that you system will be able to detect those
Yes,
star uh,
yes. That's the whole
projects.
point.
Yeah,
That's the whole point.
so that is the most interesting part for me.
Uh, I tend to agree on you on this matter because you see, there's like broad discussion I come across. Like some people are saying, "Oh, for us, we don't care to be like in first 10 people that apply for the work because it's big budgets and people are choosing." And I'm always saying that people, it's always stress for the client to pick up the service provider when they make their mind. For example, they have this short list of people,
Mhm.
like first 10 or 15 people apply to the work. They're starting to make a
Yeah.
short list of the
You
candidates.
make thumbs up, thumbs down. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after, for example, 2 hours, 5 hours, you come across and you apply for this job. And it's a great stress for the client to actually making his mind again, to take you into the consideration, go for the interview, revision his thoughts on
Ranking.
every, yes, his ranking. It's hard. It's hard, and it's hard, first of all, psychologically for the client.
Some may do it, some may not, because
Hmm.
I'm also from time to time I use Upwork services, for
Hmm.
example, for my website and so on. I did
Hmm.
that, and when I use it, just as you said, website designers are so many. And I didn't put any country restriction, nothing. And
Hmm.
in a couple of hours, you see above 50 applicants.
Yes.
Then you try to limit those whom you find, and you ask their rates, etc. Maybe you start a chat, But as you said, some people might be have a lot of time and they
Hmm.
may do it, but why take the risk, you know? And some
Sure.
people will not have the time. They'll just look at the first 20, 30. Maybe some will even have a look at the first 10. If it is not something complex,
Hmm.
they'll just take it. But as I said, maybe you are missing the next Peugeot, Unilever, or
Yes.
P&G,
Yes.
whatever,
You
you
never. You
know,
never
you
know.
don't
You
know.
never know. Yes.
You never know. And it may be a small job, but
Hmm.
you may be the right fit and ticking every point. As I said, for example, some client who is asking, I have one photo to edit.
Hmm.
And usually when I see that, I don't reply. But let's say there is over 10 million spent on that client,
Hmm.
then it's okay for you to edit one photo, but you because you don't know if it'll bring new $50,000 in the coming years.
You see, there's a lot of people in the agencies, and they're saying, "Well, I mean, your product is really cool. We would like to use it, but it's just not so many clients of this type we are interested on Upwork. We are looking for a big clients, right? There are no big clients on Upwork, and I'm always saying there are big clients on Upwork, but they are wanting a small jobs usually because they have the budgets to work with the suppliers with, for example, big IT companies if it's a development, for example, like right. But you can build relationships with those big companies, providing them with the small services. Because business is all about the trust, is all about building this trust over the time and making more and more together.
Mhm. Agree. And there are clients who spent over 20K for me, and we usually start with something small.
Absolutely. It worked for me as well. Before this business, we were an agency on Upwork. So the big projects always started from the small jobs
Mhm.
because people need to get used to you, understand
Mhm.
your communication, understand your pricing, your business model, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so basically what we do next, I'm gonna create an initial filters using this conversation, using the materials you
Mhm.
provided me. And I must say, when you've put all the work in this intro questionnaire, I saw
Mhm.
that this is the professional of the old generation because people are trying to run, and do everything hush and put everything together, and it is really specified. So I thank
Mhm.
you very much. And on the next call, I will present these filters to you. We're gonna
Okay.
discuss this filter.
Take your time.
I will. I will. It's a really interesting job for me. And we will discuss how we go further.
Okay. Perfect.